Let's talk about the unsung hero of your home. That system working silently, day in and day out, just to keep you comfortable. But the second it stops working, oh yeah, comfort turns to crisis fast. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden world of your home's HVAC system.
You know the feeling, right? It's the hottest day of the summer, you're practically melting, and all of a sudden, that glorious cool air from your vents turns warm. Ugh, it's more than just annoying, it's a full-on comfort emergency.
And here's the thing, when that complex system gives up the ghost, your home stops being that safe haven from the weather. It just fails. And believe it or not, these failures aren't always random. A lot of the time, it really comes down to where you live. So, let's dive into a really cool case study. Somerville, Massachusetts. It is the perfect example of how a home's architecture and the local climate are locked in this constant battle with your heating and cooling equipment.
I mean, it's so true, right? A brand new build is one thing, but what about a house that was put up long before central air was even a dream? The kinds of homes you find in places like Somerville, well, they come with a very unique set of challenges.
You see these gorgeous, historic buildings, right? But for an HVAC tech, they can be a total puzzle. We're talking Victorian homes, triple-deckers. They just were not built to have modern ductwork snaked through them. And get this, in some of these buildings, the shared walls can create these weird pressure imbalances that literally suck outside air into your home, making your system work way, way harder than it should. And on top of that, you've got this 1-2 punch from the climate. In the winter, you've got these brutal single-digit temps and freeze-thaw cycles that can literally crack critical parts like heat exchangers. Then, bam! Summer rolls in with that sticky, high humidity that doesn't just feel awful, it's actively corroding the delicate parts of your system. It's just this relentless, non-stop assault all year long.
Okay, so we've seen how the environment around your house is basically waging war on your system. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the actual breakdowns that happen because of all that stress. You can think of this next part as a kind of diagnostic checklist for what might be going on in your own home.
Let's start with your nose. You ever turn on the heat or the AC and get hit with a weird smell? Maybe musty, or even something that smells like it's burning? Yeah, that's not just unpleasant. It's a massive red flag that something's not right deep inside the system. Or, how about this one? The system kicks on, runs for maybe 2 minutes, then clicks off, and then a few minutes later it does the exact same thing, over and over. That's called short cycling, and it's a huge sign that your system is struggling, inefficient, and getting worn out way too fast.
And finally, the one we all feel, the one that hits you right in the wallet. If your energy bills suddenly shoot through the roof but you haven't changed your habits, your HVAC system is almost always the prime suspect. It's just chugging energy to try and keep up.
So what's actually going wrong here? Well, you'd be surprised. A lot of the time, it's something ridiculously simple. A dirty air filter is, believe it or not, the #1 culprit. But it could also be leaky ducts that are just dumping all your expensive cool air into the attic, or even something like an old electrical panel in an older home that just can't supply enough juice for a modern AC unit. Okay, so you know something's wrong. Now comes the big one. The question that every single homeowner will face eventually. Do you keep pouring money into fixing an old system that's on its last legs? Or is it finally time to replace the whole shebang? Thankfully, you don't have to make this decision in the dark. There's this super handy rule of thumb called the $5,000 rule. It's simple. You just multiply your system's age in years by what the repair is going to cost. Let's run through a quick example. So here we go, a perfect scenario. Let's say your air conditioner is 12 years old and a technician tells you it needs a $500 repair. Okay, so you multiply 12 years by $500 and you get $6,000. Since that number is over the $5,000 threshold, the rule basically tells you that you're probably better off putting that repair money toward a brand new, reliable, and way more efficient system. It's just a smarter investment in the long run. This little chart here just lays it all out plain and simple. Yeah, repairing is cheaper right now, no question. But long-term, you're looking at more breakdowns and terrible energy efficiency. Replacing is a bigger hit up front, absolutely. But in return, you get something you can count on, high efficiency and lower energy bills that can actually help that new system pay for itself over time. All right, you've made a decision, and it's time to call in a pro. And I get it, for a lot of people, this part can feel a little intimidating. You don't know what to expect, so let's just demystify what should happen when you pick up that phone. A truly professional service call should always follow this clear 3-step path.
First, you call, you explain what's going on, and they get a technician on the way. Now, step 2 is the most important one. The tech finds the real problem and gives you an exact upfront price. No work should ever start until you give the okay. Then, step 3. They do the repair you approved, they test everything to make sure it's working, and they clean up after themselves. It should be that simple and transparent every time.
So, up to this point, we've been in crisis mode, right? Fixing things after they break. But what if we could actually prevent a lot of these problems from ever happening? Let's talk about shifting our mindset from being reactive to being resilient, and that all starts with a proactive maintenance plan.
I mean, this quote really just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just about being comfortable. It's about protecting a massive investment. You should think of regular maintenance not as a cost, but as insurance against those horrible, expensive emergency breakdowns. It's how you squeeze every last bit of life out of your equipment. So what does a real maintenance visit actually look like? Well, as you can see from this list, it is so much more than just changing an air filter. A proper tune-up involves a full inspection, cleaning all the coils and components, lubricating all the motors and moving parts, checking electrical connections. It's about calibrating the entire system to run at its absolute best. This is what saves you money and prevents those emergency calls in the middle of the night. So as we wrap things up here, I just want to leave you with this one question to think about. Your HVAC system is, without a doubt, the hardest working appliance in your entire home. It fights off the heat, it fights off the cold, day in and day out, just to keep you and your family comfortable. So, the question is it getting the support it needs to keep doing its job for you?